It's Saturday, I think it's the 5th of December, and it is a fabulous day out there. Glorious sunshine, about 8 degrees, and not a breath of wind. Anyway, this video is about Project Servator and North Yorkshire Police. Never heard of it? No, neither had I. Until 2 weeks ago. These are my observations of North Yorkshire Police Project Servator in my quiet market town. Twice recently, a plainclothes policeman has been used to target motorists entering Bedale, a quiet North Yorkshire village, under the auspices of Project Servator. On the 20th of October, the plainclothes policeman adopted a sort of nonchalant pose, leaning against a lamppost. And on the 3rd of December, he was there again, in Bedale Park, leaning on the railings, seemingly casually watching the passing traffic. What was less obvious was his earpiece and hidden microphone. He was relaying information to his colleagues further down the road about motorists not wearing seatbelts or using their mobile phones. I videoed the first operation on the 20th of October, and you can see it on this vlog, and there's a link to it there if you want to have a look at it. On the latest occasion, he realised I'd recognised him, and he abandoned his position. And by the time I turned round, the whole operation had been wound up, the others piling into the van and going to pick him up somewhere out of sight. It was disappointing, as I had hoped it would enlighten me as to what Operation Servator was about, and perhaps where Bedale fitted into the picture. Anyway, next time perhaps. This appeared on the police Facebook the same day, yesterday, December the 3rd. North Yorkshire Police are keen on myth busting. But before I look at this latest manifestation, I thought it would be useful to revisit the previous incarnation on the 23rd of October 2018, which concerned the use of safety camera vehicles, or SCVs as they're known. So in this previous incarnation, according to North Yorkshire Police, there were 10 so-called myths about SCVs, followed by the truth as they saw it. I mean, I don't intend to look at each one in detail. I mean, I've already done this and posted 4 videos in April 2019 giving the details of how and why I reached these conclusions. And if you want to know more about the links to these videos are given below. You can search them out. So this was the first myth as they saw it. Camera vans don't improve road safety, and then the truth as they see it. Casualties on North Yorkshire's roads have dropped by 20% as a direct result of us introducing camera vans, according to independent studies by Newcastle University. This assertion is just not true. There's no evidence to support it. And to use the university to try and give the assertion some kudos is disgraceful. Safety camera vehicles have made no statistically significant difference to the reduction in KSI, that's killed and seriously injured numbers, across North Yorkshire. Even with a doubling of safety camera vehicles in 2016, the trend hasn't changed. And then there's a link to a video which gives far more detail. And this is myth 3, as they see it. You park camera vans in the locations that make the most money. Myth 2 also sort of deals with something similar. And the truth as they see it, we decide where to deploy our camera vans based on lots of different factors, based on the threat, risk and vulnerability. These include intelligence around previous collisions, traffic flow, events happening in an area, demand from communities and even the weather. We never consider locations based on the revenue they could generate. These are my words. This is the most contentious issue. In 2017, North Yorkshire Police declared the A1M to be the 4th most dangerous road in the county, with no evidence to support this assertion. And they were going to target it with SCV. Now, using the international measure of KSI per billion miles travelled, the A1M is the safest road in North Yorkshire by a mile, in fact by a million miles, and it's recognised as such by the Road Safety Foundation Eurorap organisation. Since the North Yorkshire Police assertion, the A1M has been heavily targeted by SCVs, and in 2019 the 2 sites on the A1M, that's Boroughbridge and Ingermanthorpe, they took a minimum of 18% of the total revenue raised from all 495 sites, which came to at least 1.6 million. Given the safety record of the road, such intense targeting, it can only have been to raise money, to raise revenue. Anyway, on the 16th of July 2020, this headline appeared in the media. At last, police watchdog confirms what motorists have always known. So speed cameras are used to fleece drivers. A report by Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services admitted that speed camera sites are being used to make money rather than prevent accidents. Some locations are being chosen because they are good hunting grounds for fines. The so-called truth was finally exposed as a lie. It was also revealed that safety camera partnerships, and North Yorkshire Police I think are in one of these, which operate speed traps, have even protected their revenues by stopping police officers using driver education as an alternative strategy. I've always thought there was something somewhat slightly sordid about the offer of no points on your licence in exchange for attending a speed awareness course from which the police take their cut. It's a bit like a backhander. However, I do have to admit to having benefited. Hypocrite. And myth 6, as they see it, you try to catch motorists out by using camera vans stealthily. And again, the truth, as North Yorkshire Police see it, our camera vans are covered in reflective markings, so they're highly visible even at night. We assess all camera van locations to ensure there's a clear eye line with no obstructions. Well, there are loads of videos which support the myth. And then below is a very blatant example, but as I said, there are loads of others. And this is in a village not far from me. It's a motorcyclist, and he's hidden his bike behind a shelter, so you can't see it when you come over the brow of the hill. And he's standing really well back from the road. So if you get your eye on the road, it's not immediately obvious. So the myth is true. When the evidence is so sort of in your face, to deny it makes the police look foolish. I mean, it's embarrassing. Anyway, I could have drawn on and on about this, but I've said it all in earlier YouTube videos, which you can track it. So, given that track record about speed cameras, I'm not very optimistic about what is to come about Operation Servator. So what is Project Servator? Well, the words in blue are mine. And this is what North Yorkshire Police have to say about it on their Facebook page. Project Servator, vehicle checkpoints. Some myths dispelled about our vehicle checkpoints, and I'll deal with them later. As we train more officers and increase our Project Servator deployments across York and North Yorkshire, you might have noticed a number of vehicle checkpoints on our roads where officers are stopping vehicles and talking to the occupants. I mean, what are they talking about? And there's a photograph of one there at Catterick. Hello. Project Servator deployments are made up of a range of police resources. Some are highly visible, such as police officers in high visibility jackets. Others are less visible, such as plainclothes police officers and CCTV operators who aren't on the ground. The use of vehicle checkpoints is one of a wider range of assets that can be used in Project Servator deployments, including police dogs, armed police officers, plainclothes police officers, security staff, CCTV, automatic number plate recognition, and even cycle patrols. On some occasions, air support from helicopters and drones is used. Police officers specially trained to identify individuals who may be planning or preparing to commit a crime are involved in the deployments. This can range from someone shoplifting in a town centre to an individual who is planning a terrorist attack, carrying out reconnaissance at an iconic site. The telltale signs that bring them to the officer's attention are the same. Plainclothes police officers blend in with the crowd, while uniformed police officers engage with the public to provide reassurance and raise awareness of the whole community can play in preventing crime by remaining vigilant and reporting anything that doesn't feel right. If an individual is displaying the telltale signs that officers are trained to identify, they will be stopped and spoken to. Individuals could also be stopped as a result of something else that brings them to the police attention, such as a vehicle defect. Nationally, under Project Servator, 35% of stop and searches carried out in 2019-20 resulted in a positive outcome, such as an arrest or drug seizure. This is more than 1.5 times the overall national positive outcome rate of 20%. That was up to the year-end 31st of March 2020, and shows that Project Servator is a successful tactic in the fight against crime. So, is Project Servator a response to recent terrorist attacks? Project Servator has been developed over several years, and a number of police forces had adopted this approach to policing before the terrorist attacks of 2017 in the United Kingdom. North Yorkshire Police adopted it in 2017. Although Project Servator is not a response to a specific threat, the threat to the United Kingdom from terrorism is severe, meaning that an attack is highly likely. tragic events at Streatham High Road in February 2020, Fishmongers Hall in London in 2019, and London and Manchester in 2017, as well as recent attacks in Europe, remind us that attacks can happen at any time or place without warning. This means we all have to remain alert and vigilant when going about our daily lives. Cooperation between the public, commercial organisations, partners and the police remains the greatest advantage in tackling the challenge the United Kingdom faces from terrorism, and in the light of the significant threat level, this cooperation is more important than ever before. Project Servator plays an important role in encouraging everybody to work together to make the United Kingdom an uninviting target for criminals and terrorists. It aims to disrupt a range of criminal activity, including terrorism, while providing a reassuring presence for the public. Should the public be worried if Project Servator comes to their area? Law-abiding members of the public should have nothing to fear if they see a Project Servator deployment in their area. These are normal police operations designed to disrupt a range of criminal activity and create a network of vigilance against those who are intent on committing crime, including terrorism. Our research tells us that the majority of the public are reassured to see the police, businesses, community partners and fellow members of the public working together. Around 2,000 members of the United Kingdom public have been surveyed about their attitude to Project Servator deployments. The individual surveys have shown that between 57 and 73% of the respondents have found the deployments reassuring. Well, that leaves between 27% and 43% who are not reassured at all, which is hardly a sort of wholehearted endorsement. As part of Project Servator, police officers will talk to members of the public about the deployments and how they can help. We also encourage people to ask officers questions if they have any concerns. We rely on the public to be our eyes and ears. You have a key role to play by reporting anything that doesn't feel right. For example, an unattended item, or someone acting suspiciously. Well, given that statement, it's very ironic that the only thing I didn't feel happy about when going out that day was this odd, sleazy-looking character in a flat cap, leaning against a post. In fact, it was so odd I turned around and went back to have another look and realised he was wearing an earpiece. Really more odd. Anyway, I went and asked him what he was doing, and he told me it was none of my business. And it took me 3 attempts before he finally admitted he was a police officer. I was amazed. Anyway, as I don't know his name, number or rank, I'll just call him PC Flat Cap, or PCFC for short, for the purposes of this communication. And North Yorkshire Police continue. We ask the public to report suspicious activity immediately to a police officer or their local police on 101. Suspicious activity is anything that seems out of place, unusual, or doesn't seem to fit in with day-to-day life. If it's an emergency, always call 999. Officers have also forged partnerships with local businesses and organisations to raise awareness of Project Servator, to train staff and volunteers about how to spot suspicious activity, and in some cases carry out joint deployments such as those carried out with the Armed Forces in Catterick and the BID Rangers in York. North Yorkshire Police was one of the first forces in the country to launch Project Servator, and is now one of 17 to have fully implemented the tactics in the United Kingdom. Project Servator was developed by the Centre for the Protection of National Infrastructure, or CPNI, and the City of London Police, which began using the style of police deployments in February 2014 to reinforce the existing ring of steel around the City of London. CPNI is the government authority which provides protective security advice to businesses and organisations that provide the United Kingdom's essential services. Project Servator aims to disrupt a range of criminal activity, including terrorism, while providing a reassuring police presence for the public. Well, it all sounds very reassuring, especially for those living in high-risk areas which may be targets for terrorists and dangerous criminal gangs. But given what I saw in Bedale, I wasn't reassured at all. In fact, I found it to be rather sinister. And North Yorkshire Police continue with these mythbusters. Here's a few of the mythbusters about vehicle checkpoints. They're not speed checks. We are not checking on people's movements. We don't stop every vehicle. There's a rationale behind the vehicles we do stop. I mean, rationale is a sort of all-encompassing word. North Yorkshire Police need to explain what the rationale is, given what I saw in Bedale. Our specially trained officers are looking out for the telltale signs that someone might be involved in or planning crime. If you are a law-abiding member of the public, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. I mean, I say that in China. We may stop you if your vehicle looks defective. Every criminal will make sure their vehicle is absolutely spot on. It will be clear that it's a Project Servator checkpoint by the blue signs we display. And these are designed to help keep you safe from criminality. Now, if what North Yorkshire Police say is true, then the events in Bedale on the 20th of October and the 3rd of December, they're just treating the residents and visitors with utter contempt. Operation Servitude was never set up to use undercover police officers to check on seatbelt wear or phone use or defective vehicles. But North Yorkshire Police are using it as an umbrella to justify their actions. I mean, if you want our support, you've got to earn it. Their action does a great disservice to those who brought Operation Servitude into being. It trivialises the reasons behind it, and it devalues the dangers those trying to keep us safe in very high-risk areas are exposed to. So to the Chief Constable and the Police Commissioner, I say this. During my long life, I have been one of the staunchest supporters of the police. But events over the past 5 years, culminating in the intimidating COVID-19 approach, have left me, and many others like me, totally disillusioned. I don't trust the police. I have great difficulty in believing what the police say. And when the police alienate people like me, there's something seriously wrong. I still retain a lot of respect for the police on the ground. I mean, it's a pig of a job. Some of the things they have to deal with are absolutely awful. But the management and policy makers, they've lost it. I would urge you to read the following statement made by Judge Sean Morris during a case involving a policeman at Teesside Crown Court. And he went on to say, "This is misconduct in a public office, and the fact of the matter is that the honesty and integrity of officials, especially the police, is crucial to public trust, and essential to the social fabric and economic welfare of this country. If the public cannot trust the police and those who work for them, then that will break down. And he went on to say, policing is a splendid and noble profession, and often our police are asked to do unpleasant and dangerous things. But the moment their word can no longer be believed is the moment society trends towards anarchy. The integrity of the North Yorkshire Police Force is disappearing like melting ice. And finally, hot off Facebook. It's today, 4th of December. Another intimidating statement appeared on the North Yorkshire Police Facebook page about COVID-19. North Yorkshire Police is carrying out high visibility patrols along the force's borders to discourage people from neighbouring Tier 3 locations from travelling into the area, which increases the risk of infection. Well, what do they mean by discourage? Does that mean stopping you? Turning your back? I've no idea. There's no legal reason why you shouldn't travel between 3 and 2, or the other way around. So, there you have it. What do you make of it? Take care. See you again. Bye-bye.